Hello, thank you for turning on the Alpha Male Podcast, the podcast where we talk about what it means to be a man and how to become that alpha male. I'm your host, Michael. First and foremost, I'm a Christian. I couldn't speak a single word or have any opportunity or ability to say anything if God didn't first give it to me. Give me the ability and the talent and the time and the opportunity. So it only seems right to mention Him first. In addition to that, secondary to all that, I'm a Marine Corps combat veteran, a couple of tours in Iraq, been to war a few times, also did a few years LAPD, served in law enforcement capacity, and currently am a federal firearms instructor and tactics instructor for one of the three-letter government agencies. And I also still currently serve in the armed forces. That's about as specific as I'm going to get. So today's topic is going to be about men being men and women being women. We get told this great lie by culture today, by society today, that men and women are the same. They're not the same. Men and women are different. Newsflash. Men are men and women are women. And no matter how much culture tries to tell you that we're all the same, we're not the same. It's our differences that help make us beautiful and make us who we are. If you're a man, be a man. If you're a woman, be a woman. Neither one of those things is lesser than the other. I think one of the great, horrible tragedies of the last couple decades was the women's liberation movement. I'm not saying nothing good came out of it, but there's a lot of bad things that came out of it too. One of the great lies was that for a woman to be worth anything, for a woman to be valuable, for a woman to be strong, she has to be like a man. And that is just not true. Women are women. And I'm sorry to say that if you try and be like a man, and how horrible is it to think that you have to be something that you're not to be happy to be worth something? That's one of the great lies of the last few decades, and it's not true. Women trying to be more like men in lots of different aspects, to try to do the things that men do and achieve the things that men achieve in the same way that men achieve them. As if somehow a woman becoming a man is going to make them happy. And on the other side of that, men trying to be convinced that being manly, that being masculine, that being in charge, that being strong is somehow bad. That somehow for a man to be hip, to be progressive, to be in today's society, he has to be more feminine. He has to be more like a woman. And that's equally wrong. One of the other great big lies of the culture and society in the last couple decades is, you can do anything you want, you can be anything you want. Well, you can't. And just because you don't like something doesn't make it not true. Last couple decades all about feeling good. If it feels good, it's right. That you don't get to pick who and what you are. You don't get to pick who your parents are. You don't get to pick what age, what era, what decade, what year you were born in. You don't get to pick a lot of things. You don't get to pick what country you were born into, what citizen you are of what country. You may not like those facts, but that doesn't make them not true. You don't get to pick whether you're a man or a woman. You either are a man or you're a woman. And to try to be anything other than what you are is wrong. Trying to better yourself, that's a great thing and a good thing. But trying to be something you're not is not bettering yourself. Now, women, society can tell you all that it wants, that if you become more like a man, you're going to be happier. That doesn't make it true. And men, society can tell you all it wants to, that you need to be more feminine to be happy. You need to be more progressive. You need to be more this or that. That doesn't make it true. And that doesn't mean it's going to make you happy just because they say it's going to make you happy. There are things in life that we have control over that we can change. by God's grace, of course. But there are things that we don't get to choose and that we can't change. To think that you can means that you think you're smarter than God, to think that you're wiser than God. If God made you a man, He doesn't make mistakes. He wants you to be a man. So be a man. Strive to be the best at what you are, what you were created to be. Not the best at something you're not. One of the other great lies of the last recent times in culture and history, I'm talking about recent modern history, especially in the Western world, is that it's somehow wrong for a woman to depend on a man. As if somehow depending on somebody else makes you weaker. Ask any soldier, ask anybody in the military, depending on somebody else makes you stronger as an individual and as a group. So don't think, I know this is the Alpha Male podcast, but this part for women, don't think that depending on somebody else, whether you're a man or a woman, makes you lesser. Don't think that because society says that you got to be the strong, independent woman, that somehow depending on a man makes you lesser or weaker. It doesn't. Depending on somebody else and having trust in somebody else is a great and noble trait. And men, don't just say, oh yeah, hear that, you're supposed to submit and supposed to trust me. Well, trust is a great leader of mine in my life in the military said, and I'm sure he didn't come up with it, but I remember when he said it, because I respected him, that respect is earned, it's not given. You can't expect a woman to trust you and be dependent on you if you're running around cheating on her. You can't expect her to rely on you if you're going out getting drunk instead of paying the bills. You can't expect a woman to trust you when you're not trustworthy. You have to earn that. Nobody's perfect. Only one man in history was perfect, and that's Jesus. We all fall short in lots of ways. But if you want a woman to trust you and to let you be in charge, then you have to earn that. You have to be that kind of man. Generally speaking, a woman's not going to treat you like a man if you don't act like a man. And a woman's probably not going to respect you if you keep disgracing that respect and losing that respect and losing that honor. So if you want honor and respect, you got to be honorable and respectful. Simple, powerful truth. Now those might be hard sayings on both sides, but that doesn't make them not true. I'm not here to give you some happy, fluffy message. I'm here to tell you the truth. That's part of being an alpha male. That's part of being a man, speaking the truth. Men, a woman shouldn't honor and respect you if you're just using her for sex. Why would she do that? Why would she have any respect for you if you don't have any respect for yourself? Does it make sense for a woman to trust you to provide for her when you can't provide and don't provide for yourself and don't provide for her? Of course not. Men, if you have authority, don't take advantage of it. If you are stronger, don't use it for evil things. Don't ever strike a woman just because you can, because you're stronger. That's wrong. If you want to earn that trust and respect, show some self-control. You shouldn't say to a woman, oh, you should trust me, I'm a man. I'm the man. You got to give me trust and respect, and then run around and cheat on her and expect her to trust you. It's not how it works. Women, don't be afraid to let a man take charge and give him respect when he's earned it. That doesn't make you weaker. And men, don't be afraid to step up and be strong and take control. You're a man. Act like it. Both men and women are valuable and important and strong in different areas and beautiful in different ways. Now, this is the Alpha Male podcast, and obviously, if you can't tell by my voice, I'm a man. So that's what I'm going to speak to. I don't want to speak too much about what it takes to be a woman, because I'm not a woman and I don't really know. But as we get further along in these episodes and we focus more specifically on things to be more manly and how to be that alpha male, the point of this podcast mainly is to say that if you're a man, don't be ashamed to be a man. Don't back down from being a man. And don't apologize for being a man. As if society has some say over it. As if society gets to say that you should be more like this or more like that. You should be more progressive. You should be more accepting of this or of that, or you should be more feminine or effeminate, or however you want to say it. Don't worry about what society's saying that you should be. Be what you are, a man. As I said, I'm a Christian, and I hope that's paramount in everything that I do. The Bible says that in the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. That's in Genesis chapter 1. In chapter 2, where He talks about making man in His own image, in His own likeness. If you're a man, God created you and made you a man. God doesn't make junk, and God doesn't make mistakes. You're a man. Be a man.